going to go to the Carabao Cup, where Wycombe Wanderers drew 1-1 with Fulham and then lost 5-4 on penalties.
Marcus, I understand that Fulham really need this. It's been a bit of a disappointing start to the season, but I think even you would have to admit you've been enemies of football there.
Have you ever been to Adams Park?
No, I haven't.
It's up there in the more moderately depressing environs to watch a Football League game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not quite the Medeski, or whatever they call that now.
You hate Reading Football Club, don't you?
No, I don't like the Medeski Stadium.
Do you like their nickname, the Royals?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
All right.
No. But Adams Park it's a fairly painful walk through a quite dilapidated industrial estate.
Right.
To get there, and it's I told you before.
We need to get it going again.
When you say a painful walk, are there like bear traps everywhere?
No, that's a good question. No,
Are they painful for the soul, are you suggesting?
Yeah, more existentially painful, philosophically painful.
Mm-hmm.
I told you before, formerly of this parish, our friend Chris.
Oh, yes.
He's a Wycombe Wanderers fan, and obviously I'm a Portsmouth fan, and when they were in the same division together, we used to go to that game at Adams Park every year, and we would term it the death of football derby. It'd almost always be 0-0.
Quite the opposite.
Cold.
Quite the opposite to Fulham, of course, which was a beautiful walk up.
Yes.
From one side, of course. The other side is, well, actually both a lovely walk by the Thames.
They could not be more different, Marcus.
No.
And I really mean that.
But they were so joined at the hip result-wise for a long time during this football match.
Can I just potentially just chuck a slight fly in the ointment, re the Fulham Craven Cottage walk, and say that for my tastes, from Hammersmith Station,
yes,
it's a touch too long.
Yes.
It's a touch too long.
Putney Bridge is
It's one of those walks where you think that's a nice walk, but it goes on probably 5 minutes too long.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think if you're going to go and watch Fulham play and you're thinking, do I
go the other way?
Yeah, go to Putney Bridge tube station, because you get to walk over the lovely old bridge, and then it's. I agree with you.
But ironically,
nice.
Hammersmith Bridge is a better bridge.
It is, but you wouldn't really walk near.
No, you wouldn't go over
Bridge.
it. You wouldn't have to go over it.
Also, Hammersmith Bridge, if anyone is a fan of bridges and all that kind of stuff, beautiful old bridge, it's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, it's been closed for a long time,
It's been closed a long time. But anyway, enough of the West London traffic
come on,
news.
Jim, for fuck's sake.
Fulham is all getting a bit next door here.
Well, let's bring it back to this door, Jim. Yeah. Fulham, yes, 5-4 on penalties they won. Benjamin Lecomte was the hero, the Fulham sub-keeper, who saved a number of penalties. And what about that penalty shootout, Jim? Never in doubt for Fulham.
It's rare that you see the first and last missed in a shootout.
Yes,
there was sort of some kind of enjoyable symmetry there. But it's just one of those ones, isn't it? You know that like Wycombe might as well just miss on purpose. Like it's just like it's gonna be the bigger team that goes through. It's so often the case. Obviously, Grimsby might have something to say about that. But I'm sure you felt very differently about it. But
I thought, when looking at it, I thought, I know Leno, I would, because Lecomte is not the number one keeper. Sure. For some reason, you therefore think that translates to penalties, which evidently it didn't, because he very much played his part. He was the hero ultimately. I thought, who are the takers here? I was like, Jimenez is the taker, and he's off the pitch.
Yeah.
I thought Iwobi will probably have one. Thought Sessegnon would have one. Other than that, I was thinking, who's in there? But when they missed the first one, Wycombe, I thought, okay, it should be quite comfortable. And then when Sessegnon misses, suddenly you go,
oh no.
Well, if it was so crucial that Lecomte saved those penalties for Fulham, because if they score, suddenly the whole
momentum
thing
shift
is
mad,
completely shifted.
And it went to sudden death anyway.
Well, and it stayed there for a little bit. I mean, it was such an extraordinary
Not very
ending to
sudden, the death.
No, exactly.
Slow death.
They should
if anything.
really call it that. You know, it's
potential
that's something you apply afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
I did love Issa Diop. It was because when Lecomte saves makes his third save in a row. The first one, he's like, right, that's good. Come on, right, let's finish the job here. Yeah. Second one, he's like, right, come on, there we go. The third one, he actually gets up and he does almost like the calm down.
I shouldn't have to be doing that.
He's like, right, calm down now. Now's the chance. Third time lucky.
If you had anything about him at all, he would have done a Ricardo, taking his gloves off and taking it.
That'd have been lovely. Yeah. But Issa Diop, the way he steps up, the look in his eye was like, this is getting finished now. Yeah. Hardly took a run up and just smashed it in the top.
If I have to take your hand off to get this in, I'm happy to do that.
But it was like if he gets it slightly wrong, it ends up in the in the park behind the stadium. Whereas if he gets it right, it's one of the best penalties you'll ever see.
And are there enough goalkeepers named after a cheese?
I don't think so.
No, and I don't. I
Comte
wonder
is
if
one of the
there
best
can
cheese
be.
as well. Comte is probably possibly my favourite cheese.
I can't think how it tastes, if I'm honest.
Very nice, very strong.
But if you're going to go goalkeepers and cheese, Paul Cheddar's my man. Don't Google him.
I couldn't think of any other puns.
No,
around
I've been trying
goalkeepers.
to.
Yes, I mean, our listeners would better help us out.
They'll
on that.
inundate us, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, Sunderland manager Lebrie.
Nice.
Yeah, that works.
Nice.
Yeah, that works. Reggie Lebrie. Very nice. Yeah.
If you like, yeah. Well, I mean, look, you've got to take your hat off to Wycombe, though, Luke, because I mean, the former Fulham, a lot of former Fulham players scoring last night. Carvalho got one for Brentford.
He did. That was
Reece Nelson, former Fulham player.
Made Man United look quite bad, the Brentford thing,
Yeah,
didn't it?
We'll get to that in a minute.
But Colin Woodrow, who came through at Fulham, I believe, didn't he? And has found his way to Wycombe Wanderers.
Great finish as well. Proper rifle of a shot.
Wow, they snatched. They kind of caught them cold.
Yeah, they did,
didn't they? And you thought, oh god, Fulham have been in bad form. They, as we always say on the show, to probably quite a tedious level, that teams of the profile of Fulham should be looking at the Carabao and saying, "Get that in my belly."
Yeah,
and going down early away from home on a kind of inconvenient, if you like, night.
Yeah.
Isn't
Talk
ideal.
about the wind. How bad was the wind?
Well, it's very exposed up there. From memory, Adams Park is also kind of halfway up a hill as well.
Is it?
So it's quite
It's not
exposed.
conducive for a football pitch, is it?
I wouldn't have thought so. No. Should be outlawed. Really, should be like in Bolivia. They have to play it off the hill. Wycomb's very much the Bolivia of
Do you think so?
the Chilterns.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also really enjoyed actually watching Kevin play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously a cut above Wycombe, to be fair to them. He looked so fast, looked like he was playing fast forward. End product, possibly still a problem, but very, very lively. And I thought Josh King was really good.
I mean, he looks like he's got a really, really bright future.
That goal he scored was a beauty.
I'll tell you-
Zlatan Ibrahimovic-esque.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Should have been his second of the season.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's actually his first, isn't it?
One of the poorest cynical fouls I would have seen on the halfway line this season as well.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? It's
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
high.
yeah,
I thought, I don't know if the referee's going to make a decision here.
Yeah, there was a moment where I thought,
Yeah, it was absolutely unnecessary because he's so much quicker. He could have just hooked it around and maybe did at the very least a far less robust foul. But King and Kevin stand out. Stand out players. Fulham will be absolutely delighted to squeeze through. Absolutely delighted.
what I love about Josh King, and I think that some people are getting to know him a little bit more. Obviously, he's still very, very young, 18 years old. Good for him to get his first official goal. But you saw it towards the end of the game where he had a chance, 2 or 3 minutes towards the end. He's so good on the turn at beating a player. And he's lovely kind of 360 degrees where he can just swivel and go.
He's just quick, quick.
And he's very, very, he's got that intelligence as well. And
Low
that's
centre of
only
gravity as well.
Yeah, it's only going to grow. But this game here is kind of Fulham in a nutshell in that you've mentioned those players. There's a little bit of flair there. There's a bit of pace. There's a bit of something that gets you going, oh, that's quite nice on the eye. And yet they only score the solitary goal against a League One side. Not a particularly brilliant League One side either. And Fulham are going to have to find ways to actually score goals and win football matches. I think we said, didn't we, that only the bottom three in the Premier League have not scored as many goals as Fulham this season. They've only got, 9 goals, is it, in 9 games?
Yeah.
very, very poor start. And I mean, Marco Silva, when they won the game, he was, maybe it's a Portuguese thing, like with Amorim, it was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, win or lose, I'm still going.
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way.
He's visibly angry. And
it's an inconvenient game in the first place.
Well, in one sense, but it's another sense a bloody lovely draw. I mean, you know, you avoided so many Premier League sides. You know, and let's be honest, Fulham will be hoping to draw more League One opposition in the quarter-final. Like, let's not be silly here. You know,
he's surely annoyed at the performance, though, right?
Well, he's annoyed at the performance, but I think he's just annoyed in general. I get the impression. Now, he's often cuts that kind of figure, but the way Fulham have been this season, I think they've got some injuries. I understand that, and he can only do so much. But it is that cutting edge.
Yeah,
they've also had like that run of 4 Premier League games they've lost in a row.
Some tricky ones.
3 tough away games: Newcastle, Bournemouth, and Villa away.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, it is, and obviously
also
Arsenal.
had Arsenal at home, and
Arsenal
they were,
at home,
as I've banged on about repeatedly, they were really good in that game.
Yeah,
there's clearly a lot there, but obviously, as you say, it's the end product, isn't it? Do you think in trying to get more out of Adama Traore, he has somehow accidentally made the whole team more like Adama Traore?
But I think he's made Adama Traore a little bit more effective in that you could see some of the crosses he's putting in and the balls which you'd want Jimenez to eat up. And I think if Muniz was there, maybe that little bit younger and sharper. But I think with Fulham...
You also made some changes.
Yeah, but I think, you know, they've got Wolves at home in the league next. Then they've got, is it Everton away, then Sunderland at home, and then Spurs away, I think, are the next 4 fixtures. It's, you know, you've got some tricky games in there. Obviously, every game is difficult, but
a chance to get some points and some wins. They have to.
Wolves
at home is like if they.
Yeah, they were beaten quite handily by Wolves last season, weren't they?
At Craven Cottage, still got bad memories of that.
It's funny how that run of fixtures actually looks quite difficult based on Fulham's form now, doesn't it?
And Sunderland's.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Specifically in West London.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look, Wycombe Wanderers will be on one. I mean, the manager did say if you're going to lose a game, lose it like that.
Yeah.
And I think that on one hand they're gutted, but on the other hand, you can't really go much further against the Premier League opposition. And when you see the advertising boards with Boogie Bingo,
That's back.
It shows you the differences in the leagues and also the areas. I don't think in the area of Fulham you're going to get Boogie Bingo selling out.
Does Bingo not have enough dancing? Does dancing not have enough prizes?
Yeah.
We've got the thing for you.
Two good questions. I think it would absolutely be totally the kind of thing that would happen in West London.
I think you find that maybe people in Fulham might be a bit too snooty for that, and that's to their detriment.
Bougie Bingo instead?
Now you're talking.
Well, I saw the advert for Boogie Bingo and I thought, I'm on the show with Jim tomorrow and I thought it'd be right up his street. So I did a little bit further research. Boogie Bingo, Jim, as you've no doubt probably guessed, is giving the guests a chance to combine bingo and disco on a fantastic evening of entertainment, food and drink with prizes to be won, as you correctly identified. Now, the music-themed bingo game comes with a professional DJ.
Excellent.
Opportunity to dance the night away, Jim. Is that interesting to you?
I'm terrible at dancing.
Would you dance the night away, though?
Do you know what? I went to some bingo thing recently. Not that long ago. It was like some old mates from home we met up, and we left it to one of the guys to organise. And he took us to this bingo thing, which there was a touch of, not on how the evening went, obviously, but in terms of the way it was, the lights, everything, it felt a little bit Squid Gamey. But it was one of those things where we're going to make it like cool and like stag do's and hen parties can come here. But ultimately, you are playing bingo.
I can absolutely see a Squid Game style bingo thing in West London for like the really wealthy people.
Indeed, but this was Central London, I stress.
Sure.
And nobody died to my knowledge.
Adams Park Boogie Bingo is £25 per person. So it includes a free drink and a basket meal. And you can buy a table of 10 for just £200.
That's not bad.
That's not too shabby, is it?
Yeah. Jimmy, do you reckon you could assemble a group of 10 to save a £50 on
We're not included, Jim.
I'm definitely not going.
Let me get back to you on that.
Yeah. It's tricky. It would be tricky to get that many people who want to go to bingo in Wycombe.
I would be... I'd be messaging a lot of people out of the blue who might think I've been hacked.
Or having a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like a total breakdown. Yeah.
Fair enough. West London are going to be well represented in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup because Brentford steamed past Grimsby. In Grimsby, of course, 5-0. And as you say, look, that result does reflect incredibly badly on Manchester United. But...
who are good now, though, so it doesn't matter.
But I was going to say, I still think there's an element of a Grimsby hangover from Manchester United because if you look at the points tally they've got, look at some of the results they've had this season, they are better than that. But anyway, enough of Man United. Brentford have gone through 5-0, easy peasy, and it was really, for certainly a period of the game, all about the Arsenal man, Reece Nelson. Jim, nice to see him scoring and assisting and having a lovely old time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know this from having seen him on loan at Fulham last season. If you can get him on the pitch, he can contribute. He's a really direct player, and he causes fullbacks problems. So much of the kind of so many rather of the setbacks he's faced have been down to fitness. So it's nice to see him kind of get on the pitch because he's not featured much for Brentford, has he? And I think he's going to be a really useful option for them this season. And he's possibly played himself into a start there.
I thought because Fulham were interested in him, and there was talk about, as you say, the fitness, the injuries, because he got a terrible injury last season when he was on loan at Fulham, and I thought they might go for him. But fair enough, Brentford are in there. If you look at the Brentford side, there were concerns about where would the goals come from or a bit of creativity. And, well, you stick him in there, another ex-Fulham player, Fabio Carvalho. These guys who have not been playing that much, Carvalho's often off the bench.
Yeah.
Give them a chance. Among the goals last night, Lewis Potter as well, and so on. Some saying, are they a crafty outside bet, Luke, for the Carabao Cup?
Well, I think Keith Andrews deserves as much credit as you can give a manager after 9 games of a season, right?
Yes.
Because there's a long way to go.
Particularly when he's had quite a lot of criticism coming his way as well.
Yeah, well, more on that
later.
Yeah, but I think the sheer amount of goals they lost over the summer is possibly unprecedented. It was something like 60% of their Premier League goals last season they lost, losing players. So for him to be able to come in there in his first job and do so well so quickly, I think is a real testament to how quickly the players have taken on board his ideas. That they should be knocking over Grimsby. With respect, Grimsby are a League 2 side. Started the season fairly well, but there's several leagues quite literally below where Brentford are. But Brentford, look, they might be building up a head of steam. The only thing I'd say is that they do concede quite a lot of goals, Brentford.
Yes,
they've not kind of answered those questions just yet. But
well, to put that in context, I mean, they've conceded as many as Liverpool have in the Premier League this season.
There you go.
Shows you. Too many.
It's never where you want to be, is it?
No.
You lie down with dogs, you get fleas. The reality is, though, that they made a lot of changes, and exactly what you want to see about from players who are perhaps on the fringes of your squad, not starting games, coming in and being excited to start, not moaning about having to take a trip up to Grimsby in midweek, but actually really applying themselves and doing really well. It was really good to see. They were much better than Grimsby, as the scoreline suggests, and everyone basically filled their boots, which is what you want. So
it's perfect.
I've been super impressed with Keith Andrews. I have to put cards on the table here and say at the start of the season, I thought they'd really struggle. I thought it just had all the hallmarks of something that would be a too big a job for someone who's not managed before. And has got so little experience, and I thought they were candidates for relegation. I don't think that now by any means, although it's very early days still. But last night, from what I saw, I actually watched the majority of the Cardiff Wrexham game, so I didn't see the majority of this, but I saw the goals, and the goals looked great. Yeah,
perfect even for them. And of course, Grimsby town manager David Artell said before the game that beating Brentford would have been a bigger giant killing than knocking out Manchester United.
I mean, that's just not true, is it?
No.
You can, he said everyone agrees that Manchester United are still finding their way, but Brentford are not that team. Brentford are a well-established team.
So last season, Brentford lost their manager, probably their greatest manager in the modern era, their two top scorers, their goalkeeper and their captain.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they're established, though.
Apparently so.
But what he's doing, what I do admire about this is he's finding a way, another more creative way of having a pop at United.
Because he's thinking, this could be my last opportunity to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you got to talk big. If you're playing against Premier League opposition, you got to talk big.
It's like he's almost saying, "Oh, you're not. Oh, yeah, we played them earlier in the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they weren't that good.
Quite that impressed with them, no.
Well, yeah, we've been a Premier League side before. We've been a Championship side before, so
it doesn't matter.
We know what's happening. Of course, look, you mentioned there was the two Welsh teams fought it out in the Battle of South Wales versus North Wales, and of course, it was the League One side Cardiff City that went through
and
against Wrexham.
They made fairly hard work of it in the end.
Yes, they did.
But the first half, they were miles better. I mean, they should have been.
Surprised how much better Cardiff were? I was. Because obviously Wrexham have been on the up and up. Everyone knows their story. They're the Championship side. They're in a higher league. Cardiff probably should have been 3-0 up at half time. It should have been done at half time. And then what happens as soon as they turn around after the half? Kiefer Moore scores. I know. When he came on, you're just thinking to yourself, I know he's one of the more recognisable players for fans of other clubs. But yeah, when he powers that header in, you kind of go, okay, there we go. But this will be nice for the documentary. But Cardiff had other ideas.
Oh, I wonder what kind of joke Rob McElhenney's going to make about that header, is what I was thinking.
But they didn't win it.
No, they didn't. Cardiff were able to turn it around. And look, from what I saw, Cardiff deserved to win it, so good on them.
A lot of people are obviously saying, it's a big derby game. It kind of is, and it isn't in the same way. I think a lot of people want to talk about it. Did you feel it was it as feisty as you wanted it to be? Or did it lack a bit of feist?
I mean, I think there was only like 3 yellow cards in the whole game.
Yeah,
Wrexham didn't get a single booking.
What's the matter?
Which
with
again,
them?
you're against.
You hate
because
that,
if you lose the game and you've not shown a bit of fight.
No, if you get hammered, I think if you.
But I think people find that opinion
I'd smash
of yours,
somebody just to make me feel better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But people find that opinion of yours interesting. I'm speaking on behalf of the listeners here because I think they think of you as a really, really nice man.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with, but they will say that.
Why didn't you agree with that?
Well, we haven't got time. Uncut. We'll do that in Uncut.
I think this is an example of the mask slipping. Isn't it?
Exactly. Again.
No, I'm open it.
Jim,
I'm open to the
It slips every 5 minutes. No one fucking notices.
What are you talking about?
But anyway, the point being that people would say that you were almost like a Gary Lineker type character. You wouldn't want to get a booking. You want people to kick people. But you're saying if you are getting battered, just go mad.
No, well, that's
let
not
all your spite out.
But it's not quite
like
what I
horrible
said.
little bitter man that you are.
What I was suggesting is if you're getting hammered and you're completely overrun, then to try and break up the play, the odd professional foul here and there. I'm not saying break someone's legs, so it's not nasty. It's more of a tactical type of thing.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
To cede territory.
I hate seeding territory.
That's how it starts, though, Mark, isn't it? It's a little professional foul here. All of a sudden, you've got a taste for it.
Yeah, well, that's the manager's job to kind of manage it, I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, not as many bookings as maybe some people thought, but Cardiff march on, and fair play to them. I mean, being a League One side, a cup payday is always good, and we know the Carabao pays out, doesn't it? They got probably about 25 grand for that win or something.
Listen, you can't turn your nose up at it. Not in this economy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was one of the. I think when Grimsby beat Manchester United, didn't they get something like 9 grand for going through? It was just ridiculous.
Amazing.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Amazing.
Because if you win it, it's like 150 grand or something.
I think wasn't it 100? It's like scratch card.
No, I think inflation.
Scratch card.
I think
money.
Inflation has finally got to the Carabao Cup pot.
No wonder Carabao are sponsoring it. If that's all you got to pay out for it.
Well, indeed, yeah.
It's 100 grand.
Yeah. Oh, it's just 100 grand.
Yeah, it's still 100 grand.
Oh, sorry. I've
50 grand from the runners up.
So they should do the honourable thing, shouldn't they?
But you do want to have a little bit of respect, because the trophy itself is worth an estimated £20,000. So you've got that bit of lovely
You're
silverware.
suggesting that you've got the option to sell
it on, move it on. Yeah.
What have you filled it with Carabao? Is it 20,000 and 10
£3?
I'd love to know if that's Carabao deciding that prize money, because Carabao, I think, by the time they finished their sponsorship of the League Cup, they would have done it for 10 years.
Right.
Before that, it was Capital One.
Yeah, that's right.
The credit card that supports the supporters, of course.
Yeah.
I wonder how much money they were putting in.
Why are you doing that?
That's not their tag anymore. So
is it not? Okay, they'll be annoyed at that. Yeah.
They
do support the supporters, though, don't they?
How much money were Rumbelows chucking at it?
Well,
that's what I want to know.
What about the milk?
Because the milk marketing board, the milk cup, Rumbelows. Remember, there's a lot of that stuff that does the rounds on kind of nostalgia Instagram, where man the match players in the League Cup are getting like a massive TV from Rumbelows,
or a big massive bottle of champagne,
but not for Rumbelows.
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Electrical goods mostly.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Premier League man of the match.
Have I made this up, or when it was the Carling Cup? Didn't they used to present the player of the match with a champagne bottle full of Carling?
It was certainly Carling branded, wasn't it? I hope it was full of Carling.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
You can't be giving them a 6-pack.
No.
It would be quite funny though.
No, absolutely not.
All right, okay. Coming up after this, brother Brendy leaves Celtic. Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody. That was Leyton Orient fans chanting to a steward who turned up to their match against Lincoln City wearing white football boots. He got his boots for his birthday.
It's really interesting footage. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's funny because he seems to be taking it quite badly, but the other stewards around him think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And like nudging him and stuff.
Just because it was relentless.
Yeah. They come up with about 5 or 6 different chants for him.
Yeah, when you've got however many fans singing that, you just got to take it on.
And also
they're not like slagging off your family or something.
No,
they're just saying like you got his boots for your birthday, which he may well have done.
He may have done that.
And maybe he was disappointed that's all he got.
I would also tentatively venture that if you turn up for work,
no, I can understand because if he's on the pitch.
No, I get
and
that.
You can't be.
I'm going to cover that.
But white boots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You turn up with a high vis jacket on, black trousers.
Yeah.
And I understand you've got to wear some kind of studded footwear in case you have to chase a pitch invader. I get that.
Yeah.
Bright white boots is a poor choice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get pelters for that, and rightly so, I think.
Yeah.
That's a character building experience for him, and I think he should accept it.
Apparently, he wears size 13 boots, though.
Ooh.
So he finds
that?
it, because I just did a little bit of reading around this, and he...
Has he got an enormous chopper, and you're assuming?
I'm going to assume he does, yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's presumably quite hard to shop for, right? That was his excuse. I'm sure you can get non-white football boots in size 13, but that was the reason he gave.
Yeah, okay. He just needs to take it on the chin. I think he just needs to accept it. I think the more you kind of explain it away, the more stupid it gets.
Punching someone in the face. You've got to take it on the chin. Fine.
You've done it now. I've got no choice.
Oh, dear. Right. Brendan Rodgers has had to take a lot on the chin, hasn't he?
Brother Brendy.
This week, he resigned from his position as Celtic manager following back-to-back defeats in the Scottish Premiership. I mean, ultimately, the magnificent Gorgie boys saw him off.
Yeah.
But Celtic's largest shareholder, Dermot Desmond, took
Great name.
Yeah.
Dermot Desmond.
And what a moustache.
D squared with a moustache. Brilliant.
Yeah, what a moustache.
Can I just say, I think if you are a Scottish Premiership club and you see off an old firm manager, you should get a point for that.
Extra point.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I agree
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, well, he let's say, took the opportunity to go to war with old Brendan. Now, Dermot Desmond is very much a man behind the scenes at Celtic.
Yeah, it's very rare for him to pipe up.
He's gone full Vince McMahon now, isn't he?
Great.
Yes. This shows you how incredibly angry and upset he was at this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because as you say, you know, much has been made of this. He's very much behind the scenes. The man controlling things from behind the scenes. Barely do you hear a peep out of the man from over the years, but an incredibly influential, well, the largest shareholder at the club. So need I say more?
Could Jim and I perhaps tempt you?
Go on.
To do a couple of these quotes from the aforementioned Dermot Desmond, perhaps in the style of the late Craig Brown.
I don't know how many Scottish football fans will know what I'm talking about here, but you know that would make the great man Craig Brown turn in his grave.
I know it would. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it. But
answer phone messages aside, again, whoever gets that reference, I wouldn't do that to Craig.
Dermot's, as Jim's rightly said, he's gone full Vince McMahon because it's not just that he's come out of the shadows and delivered a statement, clearly because he was so angry.
But
some of the wording is sensational.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not from a chairman, I don't think.
We must.
Like, well, you got your sort of Gigi Bacali, like ludicrous.
That's
types,
what I mean. On this island, have you ever? I mean, maybe there's an obvious one I'm missing, but my goodness, it's a very, very rare thing because, you know, he said Rodgers' words and actions were divisive, misleading, and self-serving. He said they have contributed to a toxic atmosphere around the club and fueled hostility towards members of the executive team and the board. He also said what has failed recently was not due to our structure or model, but to one individual's desire for self-preservation at the expense of others. My goodness, it is a visceral takedown.
Yeah, I mean,
very pointed.
Desmond also said, didn't he, that you know, like board members, family members, and stuff have been getting abuse. So I think this is clearly coming from an emotional place.
I mean, and the fact is though that he's come out and said this when you're reading it, and because Rodgers himself, I mean, he was on the BBC very recently saying, oh well, you know, if I was to manage another Premier League side, it would be like a holiday compared to managing Celtic, because of the expectation to win every time and so on. And we know what the quotes he made, that quote about you're given the keys to the Honda Civic, you can't drive it like a Ferrari. He's been moaning a lot in public.
Distancing himself from his own results.
It's a little bit, in a more extrapolated sense, a little bit Nuno Espirito Santo at Forest, in the way he was coming out with some stuff and you're thinking, blimey, Nuno, you're careful how you go there. And Rodgers has been saying this about the transfer policy, about not signing certain players. My take on it would be that Rodgers wanted Celtic to kind of get back to where they were when he first took over. Because if you remember that spell,
wasn't it?
I mean, it was unbelievably good when he took in there. They were you know, not bad in Europe as well. They were pretty decent there. They played beautiful football and they won everything. And this time round, clearly that's not quite the case. And I think he's almost saying, come on, let's be like a top Premier League side. Well, of course, that's just not going to happen because they're not in the Premier League. They are where they are. So he's kind of, I think his when they talk about his self-preservation and his self-serving attitude, maybe the suggestion, well, they are not suggestions, they're allegations there almost of him saying, no, I want to be seen as
and I think
doing this for Celtic and we're going far in Europe and so on. And the reality is it's very difficult even for Celtic to get to where he was wanting.
But I think it goes beyond that though, because I think if you look at the report on the BBC website, I forget who wrote it, so forgive me, but there was a suggestion there that that is the case, but it also goes beyond that to the point, and this may speak to Desmond's anger. There were people at the club who felt like Rodgers was essentially trying to manoeuvre his way out of the club.
Yeah.
And essentially
martyr himself almost.
But cause himself to be removed because that's the only way that people could kind of understand the behaviour. Well, Desmond come out and said like some of the stuff that Rodgers has said about transfer targets, players, all the rest of it. It's just not true. It's like there's nothing's happened in the way that Brendan Rodgers is saying it's happened. So it seems quite odd the behaviour he's exhibiting. But I think it's not massively surprising because Brendan Rodgers has always had a bit of that about him. I think.
Well, the way he left last time,
the
fans they were very, very unhappy because again they were you know, what he was doing at the club the first spell he had there was incredibly good. And people might say, well, the Celtic are expected to... No. The way they won those trophies and the way they did it in his first spell was impressive. It doesn't matter who you know, it was impressive. When he left, it was very much, there's a decent Premier League job, right? I'm off, see you later. And they felt like, well, hang on. A little bit like the Rangers fans when Gerrard left. And some would say, come on, Celtic fans, get over yourselves. Because, you know, it was at the time, the Leicester City job was a decent job and a good Premier League side who had
won the FA
ambitions.
Cup there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and others would say, well, the way he left was piss poor. When he goes back there, it took a while to smooth the relations over with the fans again, because they were like, well, hang on a minute, you can't just come back here the way you kind of left. And maybe he was trying to martyr himself, trying to get himself in a position where he kind of goes, well, what can I do here? So when he leaves, some of the fans would be more on his side. My guess, and it is a pure guess, that maybe the fan base, I don't know, they may well have changed their minds in the last couple of years. There will undoubtedly be sections of the Celtic supporters that will be looking at Rodgers going, bloody hell, mate, never come back here again. And maybe one or two have a little bit more sympathy with the situation, but I don't think he ultimately will be welcome back at Celtic Park anytime soon, if ever again. But I find Desmond's, the quotes, and if you haven't seen the full thing, please do, because it's explosive, it really is. And for a guy who stays in the background, Jim, he must have been so upset with what was going on to do that. That in itself, to me, almost lends a bit of credence. I don't know much about Dermot Desmond, to be honest. I don't know what type of, people might say, well, he's no angel himself. He probably isn't.
Well, we don't hear from him, do we, generally? So it's
not
hard
personally,
to know.
no.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely spectacular, doesn't it? And it smacks of kind of trying to essentially just assure the fans that actually this isn't a complete circus behind the scenes. And it's all very unedifying, isn't it? For everybody involved, really. It must be an extremely frustrating time as a Celtic fan. Potentially reassuring that, actually they are going after the transfer targets that they all agreed and whatnot. But it's a pivotal time, really.
It's absolutely fantastic news for Derek McInnes and the Gorgie boys, though. I mean,
Is it though?
Rangers and Celtic party in the same season.
Yeah,
but
come on.
If this was happening in March, you might think, okay, great, but now there's enough time to course correct, isn't there, for both of them, really?
Well, so what do you think?
It depends.
But what do you think of Desmond and Co.'s decision to immediately get old Martin O'Neill back in there?
I think that it's a great opportunity for Martin O'Neill to have a sort of late career success. And let's be honest, as much as we all want Hearts to go on and do it, that is probably what's going to happen. I know it's an interim thing at the moment, but
very much so. Yeah. Well, Martin O'Neill, who appeared on the radio just hours before being offered the job, said for Scottish football, for Hearts to win the league, it would be amazing.
So are you suggesting, Marcus, that he's gone into Celtic to guarantee that happening? They're going to bring it down from the inside.
I can't want that to happen enough, but I think whatever happens, it's a win for Martin O'Neill.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling on Martin O'Neill would be that there has been several instances over the last 6 months or so, seen him on TV, where I think he's completely lost the plot.
Yeah, but he was always a bit mad, though, wasn't he?
He was, but in a way that was backed up by him actually being quite good.
Yeah, okay.
And it kind of, from memory, it kind of started to go a bit wrong from Aston Villa when he spent loads and loads of money, and he hasn't worked in football in that way.
2019
for
was his last
time,
job at Nottingham Forest.
But I just think for Hearts, it's fantastic. They haven't won the league since 1960, something like that.
1960,
It's a long old time.
Look, it is all good. I mean, it depends what kind of effect Martin O'Neill has, but. I mean, looking at it, 2019, he had a short stint at Nottingham Forest. Before that, he was Ireland manager.
And it's important to note on the Nottingham Forest thing,
yes,
everyone had really high hopes about that because he had an amazing load of experience. He was
played there.
He's a legend at there.
Oh, yeah, rightly so, yeah.
Intrinsically linked to Brian Clough in a way that Sean Dyche would love to be. And it went wrong. It just went wrong. And that's the last time we've seen him as a manager.
Yeah.
He's basically been full-time Keith Andrews hater since then.
Yeah. And actually, if he's the first, or if he's in post at one of the old firm clubs in the first season for 40 years where they don't win it, that's massive for Andrews. That is massive for Keith
that is
Andrews. What a year for Andrews.
Yeah.
Absolute annus mirabilis.
And obviously,
keeps Brentford in the Premier League, and his chief hater is angry about it and fucks up at Celtic.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. I mean, obviously, we are now Team Andrews, aren't we? Because as we know from the relationship O'Neill and Andrews have, you simply cannot criticise Martin O'Neill, or he will hate you.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Just by talking about this, we are Team Andrews. I've got to make that clear.
And by the way, like if you may think, well, they obviously knew Brendan Rodgers. I mean, it wasn't a huge surprise in one sense that he finished as Celtic manager. It was the statement and how it kind of went down. And you think, well, okay, surely a club of that size and magnitude would have been seeking out potential replacements. And O'Neill is very much on an interim basis. He said himself, I'm just keeping the seat warm for whoever wants to kind of take the job. So O'Neill is under no illusion. But sometimes we might give clubs too much credit in their future planning, because O'Neill seemed rather surprised that he got the offer. He said, I took a gasp of breath and thought, is this real or surreal? It's difficult really to turn down somebody who gave you the job in the first place when he had some really great options way back 25 years ago. From that viewpoint, maybe by the time that I pulled myself off the floor, I probably thought maybe I should do it. Now, again, an eccentric guy. But yeah, I suppose you look at all this, surely the league flag will be coming back to Tynecastle.
I also love the one thing that would be an amazing postscript to this whole story would be this time tomorrow, Brendan Rodgers walks into a lovely plum job.
Yes.
That was his plan all along.
So
like Kaiser Soze, getting rid of his limp out of the police station.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny. He pops like Man United or something.
Yeah. We wouldn't be Man United. They're going places.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
What are those places, are you?
Potentially Europa Conference League.
Yeah, could be.
Although it depends who wins the Carabao.
Baby steps, isn't it?
Europa League, more likely. Well, I tell you what, though, staying if we can just very, very briefly, Paul Tisdale is heading up the search for Celtic's next permanent manager. He refers to himself as the football doctor.
Yeah.
Hasn't had a job in a little while, but he kind of...
But he has got a job. He's a football doctor.
Sorry.
He didn't spend 6 years at football medical school, Marcus, to be treated like that.
That's poor.
You believe that, Jim?
I just thought he was local. But
he's a football doctor, mate.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like a physio, doesn't it? But it's not that.
Do you know what it sounds to me like? He's pumping up footballs.
Well, Tisdale, of course, we remember him as Exeter.
Very dapper man. Very well-dressed manager of Exeter City. A long time manager of Exeter City.
Is he sort of the
always like a cloth cap?
The Pete Donaldson of the football manager,
sort of. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen weirdly enough, I've never seen Donaldson in a cravat, which Tisdale did used to wear quite a lot.
Yes,
but yeah, I know what you mean. Same energy.
Yeah.
Yes,
he was at Exeter City for a while. MK Dons, brief spell there, Bristol Rovers, and Stevenage. And that was in 2022 when he left Stevenage.
He was at Exeter for a long time, Marcus.
For a very long time. Yeah. 2018.
At one point, he was the longest serving football league manager, I believe. But he's essentially got this job. Yeah, as you say, trying to help Celtic find their next permanent manager, and that's broadly quite interesting. But the article about him in the Scottish Sun is filled with what I can only describe as the most tepid quotes from him about how good he is.
It sounds absolutely insufferable.
What it sounds like is he's basically just bought a computer.
Yeah.
Like he loves the data.
Yeah.
It's like reading a ChatGPT riddled bio on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but it's worse than that as well. Because at some point he says, I've got this algorithm that I developed. And 10 years ago, people were hating on me, telling me it was too basic.
This sounds quite familiar, actually.
Exactly. Apart from I'm nowhere near as well dressed. and then he tries to justify his algorithm and his data set by saying, let's look at moments. There's 12 shots in every game. 4 hit the target. 1.5 of those go in the net. Is it a quantity thing or a frequency thing or a bit of both?
He's never faced Arsenal, has he?
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
There's another one about one team has possession, one team doesn't. Who's in control? Actually, it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Is that,
and then he says,
that really insight?
Listen to this though. This is a good bit of insight, possibly straight from the data. If the team has a high line, you play behind them. If they drop off, you play in front of them.
There you are.
Hey, see?
Hey. And that goes for warfare as well.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill permanently it is then.
Yeah. Do you know what? But I was going to say with Tisdale, it wouldn't shock me if he fancied it. He does all these data, comes and goes, seems like the right man for the job is right here. Can't argue with those numbers. Martin, just type those numbers in.
By the way, Martin, if you hate Keith Andrews on the basis that he's just a set piece coach, you're gonna fucking hate Paul Tisdale. Martin O'Neill did about 5 minutes of how much he hates XG on the TV the other day. Yeah. He's not gonna like a bloke coming in with a cravat talking about fucking data sets.
No, well, really I'll tell you something though. So with brother Brendan Rodgers having gone back there, obviously didn't work out. Martin O'Neill going back there as well. Big Ange.
Could be.
Yeah. That would be a disaster for Hearts if Ange went there. Because you're looking at me as if to say, have you not seen what's been going on? I just think that he would get them going again.
Yeah, of course he would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
sure.
Although
that said, I mean, the squad is in a much worse place than it was when he was, in his Celtic heyday. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ipswich manager Kieran McKenna is the bookie's current favourite to take over permanently. Yeah, that would be an interesting appointment. You'd have to say.
Do you think that would be a good move for McKenna, though?
I've got my doubts about that, really. I think there's an element to that where because basically Ipswich have found the transition back to the Championship quite hard. They've been quite inconsistent. They're mid-table in the Championship at the moment. And there's an element to, if you're a young up-and-coming manager, I can see the attraction of it because, of course, they're a massive club, right?
Yes.
And the scrutiny, the pressure,
European
the
football.
spotlight, European football as well. It's a load of kind of stuff that if you do have designs on being a truly top manager at Premier League level, La Liga level, whatever, that's a good... I mean, it sounds disrespectful to Celtic. I suppose it kind of is in a way. I don't mean it to be, but it's a kind of good road test for you. But at the same time, I think... you can also get a bit forgotten about, and people can be very snobby about your achievements in Scotland. Happened with Steven Gerrard. You would say that it probably got him the Aston Villa job, but then he piled in totally. And then where is he now?
Bahrain.
Is he in Bahrain still?
Yeah, he was living in Bahrain.
Yeah, but he's left. He left the Saudi club, so he didn't get relegated, didn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't want to go home soon because of the old money situation.
True.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's doing fine then, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ignore that analogy then. He's having a lovely
In
old
the
time.
Bahrain hotel bars with presumably Peter Reid.
Yeah.
No, I think what you said was correct. Well, look,
But because with McKenna, I think more specifically,
Yes.
there's an element to it where he's taken Ipswich perhaps as far as he can.
Yeah.
He got him to the Premier League, couldn't keep him in it, stayed on. Ipswich, to Ipswich's credit, they kept him in the job, and now they're probably not going to be promoted this season. I wouldn't have thought. There's too many other strong candidates. So then where does he go?
Let's turn our attention to another Scottish side, Aberdeen, whose new sporting director once stole a penguin.
Yeah.
Lutz Pfannenstiel is their new sporting director, of course. He's quite the character. I'm sure a number of you have been familiar with him, and if you're not, you have been in the recent days with a lot of articles being written about him. During his time playing in New Zealand, he once kidnapped a penguin and kept it in his bath. The club president told him to send it back or risk being deported.
The thing about this, right, is that we've all heard that story before, right? And I'm sure lots of people listening have as well, because he played for so many clubs in his career. He essentially used football as a way to just see the world, didn't he?
Yeah, because he turned down Bayern Munich very early.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. He said he didn't plan for that to happen. It just kind of panned out that way.
But regardless of the intention of it, that is, as you say, what ended up happening. So, I mean, he played for possibly like double-digit numbers of clubs after this happened, and has been sporting director at certain places. He's managed a lot as well. Every time he takes a job, this story must come up. It must do.
But I think he loves it, though.
He must have a one-man show's worth of material about this penguin, just ready to go off the bat now from talking about this in the media so much.
Yeah. So I met Lutz Pfannenstiel, spent a bit of time with him in Dusseldorf.
Yeah.
He's obviously a friend of Andy's. Not sure how. Possibly they did some back-to-back drum and bass sets together back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he's definitely a very eccentric character, but he is actually a sporting director. When I saw him at Fortuna Dusseldorf, he was I think in the second year of a 2-year stint there. But he's unquestionably a real entertainer. I remember at the time thinking he's spending quite a lot of time here in the build up to a game, telling us stories about his travels and all the rest of it. So I think he's just a bit of a kind of
he loves it.
Yeah, he's a bit of a kind of raconteur type character, really. And also, can I just divert from the joviality around the penguin? I think that's a really horrible thing to do.
Yeah, indeed. I think it did seem quite troubling. I mean, not as troubling perhaps as him spending quite a bit of time in a Singaporean jail. I mean, he was quite big out there. He's modelled for, was it Armani? He was playing for a team out there. He had his own chat show or his own show or something. But he was accused of match fixing because they said he was playing too well.
That is apparently what the judge said. That it was his level of performance became sort of unrealistic compared to his usual one, but in a positive way.
That's a great compliment.
Yeah,
Would you keep you warm at night in a Singaporean jail? I would have thought.
Yeah, your club increased your wages and you responded by playing well. That's a bribe.
Hang on.
But anyway, he was released due to a lack of evidence, but he was in the jail for quite some time.
Yeah, it's like something like 101 days, isn't it? Which is
He's had some career. He's played in every single FIFA confederation. I think he's the only player to do it, isn't he?
But I'd have thought so. He finished playing a Namibian team called Ramblers.
There we go.
Which was also the coach.
Very nice.
So we'll always be welcome here. But make sure you leave our Penguins alone.
Yeah.
Now, coming up after this, Fizzer is going for MLS glory. Gentlemen, before we talk about tonight's Carabao Cup matches, mention for Sheffield Wednesday, of course, went into administration last week. They're just in dire straits. But it was such an odd but understandable situation where Chansiri, the owner, incredibly unpopular for many, many, many good reasons, puts them into administration, or they go into administration. They had no other choice, of course. And the fans almost celebrated that because therefore he has to be removed from the club.
Worth it.
Yeah, indeed.
Feels like short-term pain for long-term gain, right?
Well,
all they've been focused on, and rightly so, is just getting him out of the club, right?
Yeah,
and football's almost become secondary.
Literally getting his name out of the stand is worth it.
Yeah, they. Yes, that's right. There were some fans, wasn't there? That they were removing the letters spelling his name on the North Stand.
Yeah,
which apparently over 100,000 people watched the live stream of how it happened.
but it is outrageous that he put his name in the seats in the stand. The ego of some of these people is astonishing to me. And I think if you are going to be that much of a sort of,
it's scandalous. It's absolutely scandalous.
Yeah, if you're going to be that much of a kind of show off, and you're going to have such a sort of vanity project like that, you've got to be good.
I think
surely you have to be good.
I think also, if you are the person who's deciding whether that happens or not, and you're putting your own name in it, you're doing it for the wrong reasons anyway, let alone the money thing. Look, I would say as well in this, don't let it be forgotten the really important and supportive role that my football club, Portsmouth, have played in this.
Go on.
A very charitable 2-0 home defeat against them a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Come to Fratton Park. We rely on our home form. It's really important that we win our games at home because we are dreadful away. It's not been that bad this season, but generally. Roll over, have your belly tickled to an absolutely dire straits Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah. They've won 1 in 12 Sheffield Wednesday, and it was
at Fratton Park. Game. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean Wednesday are they're minus 6 points because they've had a deduction and so on. They're almost certainly going to be relegated. But one thing you would say about the Sheffield Wednesday fans, I mean they didn't go to a lot of the games recently to stay away from them. Whereas now, since that game, you had 27,000 I think turned up last week, which is their biggest gate of the season so far. And with buying the tickets and the merch. Since Friday, they've raised roughly £500,000, which is incredible. It shows amazing. You again what happens when everybody can club together. The administrator said that they've had 4 or 5 serious bidders for the club, but I think due to the rules, they need to market the club for a 28-day period.
That's right.
Yeah, because they can't just Chancery can't say, "All right, I've sold it to my brother."
No, and the administration itself is always penciled in as 12 months, but that can be shortened. But in terms of getting a new owner, they have to let it out there for a certain amount of time. Yeah.
So they said they've had the guy doing the spokesperson for the administrator said, you do get a lot of people coming around and showing interest, and I thought. Yeah, I can imagine you do. Some utter time wasters. He said they've had 4 or 5 serious bidders, so then they've got to go through the fit and proper persons test. So he said, was it end of November? I think he probably would say in a bit of timeline. That would make sense. That you'll find out who the likely ones are.
But it's an amazing opportunity for someone.
Well, it is.
Well, have you heard that Mike Ashley is said to be interested?
Well, this is it, Jim. Like you will get all this kind of stuff. They're going to have to go through it properly. Sadly, though, the way that football clubs and the whole system works is if someone like Ashley does come along with the right amount of money and so on and so forth, they are going to be a serious bidder, and the fans will again have to club together and make their own kind of form one voice and make their thoughts felt about that. But one thing which was quite amusing in among all this crap was that they are set to auction off 2 golden elephant statues that Chancery installed at Hillsborough.
Yeah,
who's going to buy them?
The thing about that though is they're supposed to bring good luck, but they were around for a period of incredibly bad luck.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe in curses.
Yeah.
I also don't want that anywhere near my flat. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. As you say, who is going to buy that?
But you'd say they were supposed to bring good luck, and then they coincided with a massive period of bad luck. But the person who installed them was the bloke in charge of the luck, effectively, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
maybe it's not on the elephants.
I don't think it is. I think they're also victims in this.
Take your elephants and luck off. Right,
not you, Lutz. Leave those where they are.
Yeah, he's just put them in his bath.
Dear. Right, well, tonight in the Carabao Cup, Liverpool host Crystal Palace.
Ooh.
Here they are again.
So I'll tell you what.
Who are the favourites for this?
It's bad playing loads of games when you keep losing them, isn't it? That's what I learned from this.
Palace, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Get up them. Get the balls into the channels.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
Yeah, Arnie's slot, as you guys said, I think on Monday, seems to be quite upset that teams are developing ways to play against Liverpool that's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
It's like you're champions of England.
Is he just reeling them in?
Yeah, maybe.
That's it. Maybe
It's quite a long line. If he is.
A very long line.
Yeah.
Is it more of a sort of an indictment of how pathetic everyone else was last season? Just sort of let them kind of stroll to it.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, I've seen quite a few Liverpool fans talking about how the league is much tougher this season,
right?
Which might be a coincidence. Yeah, Probably is a coincidence.
Tougher across the board.
Yeah.
This is quite nice. Former Crystal Palace midfield James McArthur is set to open a new Italian restaurant in East Kilbride. According to the spiel coming out of that, Ruby's is the name, and it's your new go-to spot from easy breakfasts and relaxed lunches to family dinners, big celebrations, and nights that buzz with energy.
I love how that gets gradually more intense as the service goes on through the day. What is James McArthur planning here?
Easy breakfast, and you end up with nights with buzzing with energy.
At the end.
Amazing history.
What's an easy breakfast?
Don't know. Not sure. I like that in Scotland they call it a full Scottish breakfast, though, not a full English.
Well, obviously, you say that. And funnily enough, in Northern Ireland, it's what would it be? You've got an Ulster fry, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
but yeah, you have an Irish breakfast. I'm sure you got a Welsh breakfast. Everybody claims it.
Some of the people
in
from
this part of the world.
Some of the people from East Kilbride, very notable.
Yes.
You got Ali McCoy, Super Ali McCoy's from there. Alan McGee of Creation Records.
There you go.
He's from there. And your friend of mine, Lorraine Kelly, is also from East Kilbride.
Character Lorraine Kelly?
Yeah, both, I think. The character and the person, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Lovely.
So there we go.
Elsewhere in the Carabao Cup, Wolves face Chelsea.
Boring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more boring, that one, yeah.
Surely
There's
there'll be goals, wouldn't there?
There's no opportunity for an ooh there. That feels. There will be goals, and I'm sure they'll be in the home end.
Actually, having said that, 1-0 Chelsea own goal.
Yeah, I can see that.
I saw, I don't know if you guys mentioned it on Monday, but I saw the Vitor Pereira and Jorg Strands Larsen was fucking getting right amongst the fans at the weekend, wasn't
they were, yeah. Well, we talked about that on the show. I mean,
yeah.
Will we see that again tonight?
Not in the Carabao. Keep
Do
your
not.
keep your powder dry. Not worth it.
Yeah.
Not for 100 grand.
That's the final. Be fucking 10 grand for this.
Yeah, fair
Not
enough.
worth it, is it?
Jimmy, are you concerned about Brighton coming to town for Arsenal?
They have been a tricky opponent
this
for
is the
Arsenal
Gateway
many,
Cup.
many times. Yeah, I think that will be a tough game. Arsenal are going to rotate, so I think this is going to be a scrap. Actually, yeah.
I wonder if young Max Downman will play.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, there is a Martinelli's not available, and kind of most of Arsenal's kind of missing players are concentrated in those forward areas. So, I mean, it's the most obvious answer to rest Bukayo Saka is to start Dalman. So very possible. I imagine we'll see him for sure at some point.
Yeah. Now, Jim, being a big Arsenal fan, have you been a bit disappointed that no former Arsenal legends have been rapping with certain rappers at the Baller League this week?
No,
Would you love to see Tony Adams give it a go, for example?
I've actually been thrilled that they aren't doing that.
Okay, well, because
Tony Adams to do his dance, his coaching dance.
Love that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, former Chelsea captain John Terry performed a little rap with rapper ArrDee at the Baller League this week.
Yeah.
It's a sentence where I'm completely discombobulated.
In the same week that you're complaining that you're not getting any management jobs, is it, John? Maybe people might be seeing that and going, is he taking it seriously?
Yeah.
Did you see Frank Lampard doing that?
Is he a manager in the Baller League? Is this him demonstrating what he can do?
So
why does no one want a rapping manager in the Premier League?
So the whole story, as far as I understand it, and I was fortunate enough to be on a panel with one of the guy who runs the Baller League a few weeks ago, and he was telling me all about it. Is that so? One of the teams is run by Angry Ginge, who's a YouTuber. Wayne Rooney's mate.
He doesn't look that angry.
He is quite angry on Twitter and stuff. That's like his thing. He's Wayne Rooney's mate.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And they've tried to, obviously, because Baller League has got no history, they've started to try and kind of fabricate rivalries and stuff. And I think in the last season of the Baller League, there was a bit of a thing going on.
Right.
Then John Terry came out as the manager of another team. I think they're called the 26th or something, with this rapper. And it was a rap about Angry Ginge.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all very unedifying. I mean, John Terry's 40-year-old man or something. But he wasn't actually, I watched it, he wasn't actually really rapping. He was doing a bit like what Flavor Flav used to do.
Yeah.
He was shouting a name.
Keeping the time.
Yeah. Hype man, really.
I thought, do you know what? Bearing in mind, in the context, etc., I thought he did okay.
If I was an owner of a football club and I saw John Terry doing that, I'd think, you're not serious. You don't want a job. Don't say you want a job when you don't want one.
We know he's a Celtic fan. Get him in there.
Interestingly enough, the Baller League's big thing this season is they've got apparently a masked up, anonymous, currently active Premier League player playing.
Yes, I did see that.
He comes on for set pieces.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah, people have been speculating that it might be Mykhailo Mudryk.
Right. Taking the set pieces.
He just comes on with a mask on and like a bodysuit on, I guess, to hide his tattoos, takes a free kick or whatever, and then goes off again.
Huh.
And we said we were never going to talk about Baller League, but they've reeled us in, haven't they?
Did you have a chat with you? Actually, let's save it for Uncut. Sure. Your conversation with the guy who's one of the organisers.
He's called Harry. He's a very nice man. I have to say, he's a very nice man.
Good on him.
He seems to be doing it all for the right reasons and seems to be really into it. So good on him.
Okay.
Not for me, but good on him.
There we are. Right, before we leave, over in Major League Soccer, the playoffs are happening. Phil Neville's Portland Timbers lost 1-0 to San Diego in their first of 3 playoff legs. 3 legs, Jim.
3 legs.
Home, away, and neutral, presumably.
It's Rolf Harris-esque.
That is strange, isn't it?
What, a Rolf Harris reference?
Well, absolutely.
Check the peg, you had the extra leg. That's his song.
Yeah, that's what he's famous for.
Yeah. Do you know what? The Rolf Harris thing was yet more mud in the eye for the city of Southampton because they had a massive. It is. I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why?
How?
I'm going to tell you how.
This is unbelievable.
I'm going to tell you how because
you're Portsmouth. You've got you've.
Well, Gary Glitter was Gosport.
There we go.
Which is actually where I grew up.
You admit it then?
Yeah, I admit that I lived it for a short time in the same town as Gary Glitter. Yes.
All right.
But
lived it. Eh?
The big.
Save that for Uncut.
The Southampton shopping centre is called West Quay Shopping Centre, right? It's nowhere near as good as Gunwharf Quays, but that's a different story. In the middle of it, it was like a circular thing over several floors. I don't know if it's still there, but in the middle of it, it had like art on display available to buy from local artists. Ooh. But the big showpiece thing was a massive permanent exhibition of Rolf Harris's artwork.
Right.
And you could buy it.
So he lived locally, did he?
I don't know what the link was. I don't know, but they absolutely had to hurriedly take it down. So more mud in the eye for them, embarrassing for him. But they're absolutely lording up Harris's work.
Yeah, but they didn't know. Nobody knew. How I found out? I saw a post from a good friend of mine on Facebook around that time when they were all dropping like flies.
Yeah,
and it just simply said, "Rolf, say it ain't so." Anyway, MLS playoffs. Well done.
Yeah. Major League Football. You've corrected that there, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. It was a sort of weird Freudian slip.
So Fizz has done well to get him in the postseason.
Of course, he's done marvellously well, and they're still in it. They're only 1-0 down.
Yeah,
2 legs to put that right
for some reason.
But elsewhere in the playoffs, though, FC Cincinnati beat Columbus Crew in the Hell is Real derby. This game takes its name from a highway billboard located on Interstate 71 between Columbus and Cincinnati. They also have Heck is Plausible.
Yeah, that's the MLS Next Pro, which is like the sort of
the second team's derby. They call it Heck is Plausible. Yeah,
and it is plausible. And if you like a Heck sausage like I do, Jim, which is a chicken,
I do as well, actually.
I mean, Heck is inevitable.
Yes, it's absolutely.
You can get different flavoured Heck sausages though, not just chicken ones. The chicken ones are very, very low in calories and very nice, but you can get pork ones as well. Can you let people know?
I think though, but if you go to the supermarket, you'd have to go to a bigger one.
The chicken ones are much more prominent.
Exactly.
Are you doing the Italian chicken or just the straight chicken?
Or both.
Yeah, I like both as well. Yeah. Italian's a bit more herby.
Yeah, I'm ambidextrous. I can have either.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Football Ramble, part of the Acast Creator Network. Friends of the Ramble, make sure to go and watch today's Ramble Uncut. And if you're not a friend of the Ramble, you should stick around because we've got a clip from a recent Ramble Uncut for you to enjoy. And if you like what you see, then click the join button below to sign up now.
So I'll contextualise it for people who don't remember.
I think I can remember a bit of it.
So 2010 in June, Robbie Earle has his contract cancelled by ITV and is binned off the World Cup coverage because
he was a big pundit.
Well, because he was because he gave some World Cup tickets away for the Netherlands v Denmark match.
That's right.
Now he says he gave them on to a friend who sold them on to a company called Bavaria Brewery, who orchestrated an ambush marketing event, which is in breach of FIFA rules.
Because it was the ladies, wasn't it?
All these attractive Dutch women.
Yeah.
But obviously, Bavaria Brewery were not an approved FIFA sponsor. So he was in contravention of that rule, which he signed up to as being part of a FIFA event.
Yeah.
And he lost his job, right? He then lost his job as being an ambassador for England's World Cup 2018 bid, which went well.
Could have used him.
So maybe that's why we didn't get it.
But so he then came out and said, look, it was naive. It was proven that he didn't profit in any way, which he didn't. And he was kind of gutted, but he lost his job, right?
Yeah. You feel it's a bit Sam Allardyce in Wings restaurant.
Kind of in a way.
Silly thing to do.
Until you get into the detail, which is remarkable. And there's 2 details I want to say, just give to you. One is, he was on 150 grand a year for doing that. 150 grand for Robbie Earle.
Oh, man.
Which is wild, right?
What do you mean, as in, like, that was
his contract for... Yeah, are you mad?
Well,
What's he bringing?
He's on ITV television. Like, is that a
I
lot of
still think
money?
it's a lot of money for Earl.
Yeah, but like compared to BBC, he wouldn't get that on the BBC. He'd be on 80, but 150 at ITV.
I share in Luke's
I just
exclaiming at that.
People focus too much on the price and not the value.
He did score Jamaica's first ever goal in a World Cup, though.
He did, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
The worst. I'm just building up to the main one.
Here we go.
Right.
Yep.
I'm just building up for this. Right. Guess how many free tickets Robbie fucking Earl got
for the World
for
Cup.
that World Cup?
I mean, so
What, in total or just that match?
I could give you the in total number for the tournament and the amount for the final.
right. So
Why is
yeah.
Robbie Well getting any tickets?
So
for
I
the-
would
You
think.
changed your tune.
See, I would think per game, if he was interested, I'm thinking a handful,
Right.
like up to 4.
That would be a reasonable.
That's
amount
what
to
I
give.
would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without trying
So
to ruin the
I don't,
answer.
I don't have the per game.
Right.
I only have for the tournament in total and for the final.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got the main game.
Do you want the final first or the tournament?
Ooh.
Because you are going to be fucking. You're going to shit an embryo at both of them. I'm telling you.
Let's go for the whole tournament then. First.
400. 400 tickets for the World Cup.
Yeah, but I kind of again the break. I mean, that
How
is-
many what World Cup year was this?
2010.
2010.
So I'm thinking. I mean, how many games would they have been at that World Cup? 98 was still
64 matches. 64 matches.
Yeah,
in
about 60.
2010,
Right,
yeah,
there you
sure.
go. Yeah, it is a lot. What about the final then?
Guess how many tickets
So again, I'm thinking
Robbie Earl
4.
would give him for the
Three
final of the World Cup.
Well, let's-
3 tickets per match.
He's one pundit on one
Hang
broadcaster.
on. So Pete, you've just done the calculations. It's
Yeah,
3 tickets.
3 tickets per match. 3.1
Which yeah,
3.1
okay. So
tickets
that
per
goes
match.
in what I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
about
the final was quite heavily front
Yeah,
loaded.
we couldn't get in it.
No, we couldn't. We were outside.
We were outside.
Go on then.
With our vuvuzela.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do it like Bruce Forsyth.
Here we go. Here we
play
go.
your cards right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll get an opening offer from Pete.
Yeah.
And then Marcus, you go higher or lower,
Fine.
and then we'll work it out. So
Fine.
Pete, how many tickets do you think Robbie Earl got for the World Cup final? Robbie Earl in 2010.
I think he got 5.
5.
So
No, all I want is higher or lower.
I mean, it has to be high, but I don't want to kind of.
Okay.
So I buy.
Higher than 5, you say?
I think 5 is high.
Yeah, I think higher than 5.
What are you going for?
I would have gone
it's
for
not
4
Luke's
or
game.
5.
Right.
So I think the way you're talking about this, he got 20 tickets.
20 tickets for the World Cup final.
Yeah,
Robbie Earl.
yeah, go on.
Yeah. Pete, would you go higher or lower
No,
than
God, no. Nowhere near.
that? Okay.
I feel like I might have won this.
The answer is 40.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
It's
He's
just
a pundit.
It's
He's a
obscene.
pundit. 40 tickets.
It's obscene.
And he reportedly
Right.
didn't sell any of them.
Sorry, Dutch fans that have travelled.
Robbie
Unavailable.
Earl's,
Yeah.
Robbie Earl's spread out over 3 seats.
He's sitting on 40 tickets.
There's 20 odd Dutchmen going, who are involved in the squad. Can I get any from my family?
Nah.
You've all got just one each.
You want to speak to Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie will get you a +1.
Is he what? Is he doing it for Dutch television? Nah. England are out. They went out 2.5 weeks ago.
Well, the Spanish boys, same as you. They're
Jamaican,
trying to tap up Robbie.
Jamaican didn't qualify.
Only if he was an actual Earl would this make sense.
And even then,
Yeah.
it wouldn't, Peter.
No.
Do you know what?
know.
Right.
Is he the Earl of Football? Was that what it was?
Someone calculated how much 40 World Cup final tickets were worth.
Yeah.
70 grand.
Yeah, I was going to say.
70 grand
So
worth
they,
of
and they were
tickets.
nice tickets then, clearly.
I'll have the money, please, Noel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Why, that's what he said.
yeah.
Although
No,
he didn't
actually-
profit.
He didn't profit
Didn't
personally.
profit. That's slander.
He didn't profit personally, yeah.
Not personally. Thank you for watching Ramble Uncut, a weekly bonus episode exclusively available to our friends of the Ramble. And if you want to get involved, do click the join button below this episode now.